You sure it's good? Look at the background. Remember it was...
Looks great.
I don't know why that front pod scares me.
That's great.
All right. You press play?
Here we go. I did. I pressed record.
Well, whatever.
Okay.
This whole thing and nothing happens.
Yo, what's going on, guys? My name is Chris Tutela, once again, alongside my creepy friend, colleague, co-host,
Ruben Borges. What's up, guys?
and this is episode number 22 of TTS Talk. So, guys, welcome to the episode. Thank you so much for tuning in. We're going to kick today's show off with a question that I have from my man, Ruben right here. Got a big question.
I have
for
no
you,
idea
Coach.
about this. Did not expect this.
All right, so, would you rather
Oh, jeez.
have sex with Whoopi Goldberg, who has diarrhea and her period,
Okay.
or David Beckham, who just came out of a hot bath?
Wow.
It's a tough one.
I can't believe I'm even thinking about this. I think as a man, thinking about this is rough. David Beckham's a good-looking dude, man.
The audience at home now sees where I'm coming from here.
I mean, the whole doesn't matter with Whoopi Goldberg, so I'll go Whoopi Goldberg and just be creative.
That's nasty, kid. That's nasty. Diarrhea.
That's disgusting, man. What are we doing?
Well, now we know where his head is at. So, Coach, you're competing tomorrow.
Yeah, man. So if you guys
How
see
you
my
feeling?
voice, I'm good. I'm definitely ready for tomorrow. I started drying out a little bit, lowering my water intake little by little. As of today, I'm only having a quarter of a gallon. So I guess, I'm just not used to that. So I'm feeling a little dry. But physique-wise, I look really good. I feel good. So, I'm excited to see how I feel tomorrow, especially after a nice carved-up breakfast.
No lack of confidence over here.
No, let's do this. I'm ready to go. Got my trunks ready. Sent a video to a friend of ours, Darius, who, I want to tell him, I asked his opinion how I thought. First thing he says, "You're not wearing those shorts, are you?" I'm like, yes, it's too late now. No negativity, so yes, I am wearing those shorts. But I'm ready to go, Chris, and I appreciate your help with the training, a couple of advice here and there. And mentally, it's I like to test myself mentally, so I'm ready.
You're welcome, man. I'm excited. It's going to be a good time. Either way, I'm happy for you, man. So, look, since we're pressed for time today, let's jump right into this damn thing. What do you guys say? So, a topic that we wanted to cover today, guys, is core training and what real core training is. Most people make the mistake when it comes to training their core, and this is based off of an Instagram video that I posted. I got a lot of people DMing me after that, asking me questions. So, first of all, Coach, where do most people go wrong when it comes to core training?
I think what they think about core training is, I think they think having a six-pack of abs means, I have a strong core. And that's not necessarily true. People think it is just the abs, that's the core, but it's basically from your knees to your shoulders. You got your lower back, your glutes are involved, your obliques, your core, shoulders, quads, the whole package there. With a strong core, that'll enable you to produce force on your heavy lifts and explosive movements, and they transfer well into sport and into your big lifts.
Right. Yeah, for sure. And where a lot of people go wrong is that they look at it in the sense of just spinal flexion work. So a lot of sit-ups and crunches and all that shit. And although that does have its place, and there is a place for kind of targeting the abdominals directly in that sense, but the primary role of the core, the function of the core, is to stabilize the spine while the extremities move, right? So to maintain your spine's neutral alignment while the arms and the legs move, right? So with that said, and like what Coach said, there's a lot of different muscle groups other than the abs that are involved in the role of stabilizing the spine, right?
Yes.
So some of the muscles, the glutes, the hamstrings, the quadriceps, the abs, the low back, right? So these are all muscles that are intertwined. Even the pecs play a role, right? So I want you guys to think of, if you want to develop a strong, solid core, which is going to help prevent movement, right, while your extremities move, then you have to work in a lot of stability stuff, right, Coach?
Yeah, like farmer's walk. And one thing that we like to tell our members here too, with every exercise, keep your abs engaged, your glutes engaged, right? Work on perfecting, building posture with every movement. In doing so, you're working on your core with basically every exercise, which is the way it should be done.
Right.
Take pride in your posture.
Yeah. So when you work in stuff like farmers walks, right? Yeah, that is the role. Think about it. Or even single arm farmers carries, right? To take it a step further, you have to stabilize and maintain your posture while under load and the extremities are moving. Okay. Same thing. So if you have a very weak core and you're very early in your training career, the first thing that I'm going to tell you to do is just work in stuff like planks and side planks, and even just developing your hamstrings, developing your glutes. All of these things are going to play a major role in what the function of the core actually is.
A lot of people have trouble even activating the certain muscle groups. Like if you tell them to activate the glutes or keep the core engaged, their abs engaged, they almost don't know how. And sometimes it's simple, like, hey, if I punch you in the stomach, what are you going to do? They're like, oh. And you realize for the whole exercise, they weren't keeping them engaged at all.
Right.
What would you say about unilateral movements to the legs? Like lunges?
Yeah.
Another way. I mean, that's how you find out. Also, we see where someone has a weak core, they're hitting a lunge, and, they're moving all over the place and everything. And that's extremely beneficial. I think both of us know from coming up from playing sport, I mean, I thought to be a better baseball player, I needed to bench more. And you don't realize the importance of core training, and especially with an overall performance, obviously in the gym and in sport, how having a strong core will help you produce force in these explosive movements in and out, and it transfers great into sport and daily living.
Yeah, definitely. So so what could you do to develop a stronger core? Well, first of all, most people want to know, how can I get abs, right? So, okay, a big part of getting abs is going to be your diet. We told you that a million times, right? So you got to get that fucking diet in check. But now, as far as core training goes, like we said, you're working some stability work, like planks and whatnot. Then you can start to take it a step further as you get a little bit more advanced. I just posted an Instagram video of a stir the pot where you're planking on a ball and then you're getting the rotation of the extremities. Farmers carries are great. These are things that you could start to work into your program to really start to develop that baseline level of core strength. And then when you're simultaneously strength training through the fundamental human movement patterns, the squat and the deadlift are probably two of the best core training exercises that you could do. We're now using every muscle from head to toe. You have to keep your spine in a neutral alignment, and the extremities are doing the work. They're doing the movement, right? So when you're stabilizing a load on your back, or in a gobble position, whatever variation of a squat you're using, and now you're squatting into position, you have to maintain that neutral spine and move. That is one of the best ways that you could actually train your core. So I want you to look at big compound lifts like the squat, like the deadlift, as two of the best tools you could use for developing a strong, solid core.
Even if as a beginner, if you're working with goblet squats, working a slow tempoed, slow eccentric goblet squat, let's say you're hitting like 3 sets of 12 with a 3 to 5 second tempo on the way down, you're going to realize your core is fired up, and you're going to really feel your abs work, times 1,000 with that. And that's how you realize how much is involved, how much the core is involved with those big squat and deadlift movements.
All right. And then, so you could also work in some assistance work in regards to anti-rotation movements, like an alphabet with a band. You could also work in Palloff presses, stuff like that. And then, of course, another role of the core is to also rotational strength, right? So working in weighted Russian twists and stuff like that, where you're actually training rotationally, that is something that's often neglected too. You might see it in some type of boot camp class where it just looks horrific and it's just, there's no control. But when you start to work in those rotational movements, you're going to really start to see the abs, the core develop. And then, of course, if you want to throw in, like one of my favorites is still like a hanging leg raise. Like if you want to train the abdominals a little bit more directly, exercise if your shoulder health is up to par, obviously. But working in exercises like that just to target the abs. If you want to, target them a little bit more, you certainly could do that as well.
There's so many different ways too. Would you say even med ball works?
Yeah.
I mean, if you have the place, or you can do some med ball throws or anything like that. It's another way it's a fun way also to work the core and get explosive and increase core strength as well.
Right. So you might be thinking, why is core strength important to you? So it's important for many reasons, right? Well, first of all, to help us prevent injury, it's one of the big, you need to have a strong core. And like we said, don't just think abs, the musculature from the shoulders to the knees, right? Think of it as an entire unit. If you have a weakness there, that's going to carry over to other lifts. That's also going to carry over to day-to-day life. Excuse me, and it's certainly going to carry over to sport. So if you have a weakness there or an instability there, then you're going to have some type of energy leak or issue on a certain, maybe it's a swing, maybe it's a throw, maybe it's on a squat, whatever it is. You're not going to be in the ideal, the optimal position or alignment. And you're either going to set yourself up for injury, or you're just never going to achieve the full potential of what you're trying to do because of that energy leak.
I think you're right, Coach, especially with injury. I think people overlook that. We get injured, but maybe it's not necessarily the core, but it was involved because the core was weak, or the core wasn't as strong as you wanted to, especially younger kids or anyone just in general being active in their daily living, daily life. That strong core will, let's say for football, for instance, right, taking a pounding, getting back on, keep moving forward. With a baseball, it's a lot of swinging with your core, your abs, your obliques, your glutes are involved. All that, if it's weak, you're going to find some weaknesses in your performance in your sport or in your lift.
Yeah. Absolutely. So to make this short and sweet today, when it comes to your core training, think of what exercises will stabilize your spine, or where could you stabilize the spine while your extremities are moving. That's some of the best exercises that you can do to target the core. Also, don't look at your core as just your midsection here. You have to think of it as an entire chain, an entire unit. And wherever there's a weakness, you have to bring up those weaknesses. So developing your glutes, your low back, your hamstrings, your quadriceps, this all plays a role in core strength and core training. So you could work in some of the accessory stuff, like anti-rotational movements, like the alphabets with the band. You could also, you should work in some type of rotational movements. Planks are great, plank variations, side planks when you get a little bit more advanced, stir the pots, stuff like that. At the end of the day,
variations, yeah.
And then at the end of the day, squat variations, deadlift variations, those are going to be some of your top core training exercises, no doubt. And if you want to throw in some hanging leg raises, reverse crunches, some type of work like that, med ball work like you mentioned, Coach, all that stuff is incredible for developing the core too.
Yeah, I mean, that's said perfectly. I mean, on top of that, with every exercise, and try to just develop your mind-muscle connection, learn how to really activate the abs, the glutes, and maintain a neutral spine with every movement that you do.
How are you going to incorporate your core when you're making love with Whoopi Goldberg with diarrhea in her period?
So I'm going to activate the glutes on the hip thrust. This is gross, man. Really.
This guy's sick. They thought about it long and hard. David Beckham or Whoopi Goldberg. All right, guys, we got to run today. I hope you enjoyed this short episode. There was a lot of information in there, so if you have any questions on it, shoot me over a DM at Chris_Tutela. That's Tutela on Instagram, or you can hit up this guy.
Guys, you can find me on Instagram at _Ruben, RUBEN _Borges, BORGES. Guys, core strength is important.
At Whoopi Goldberg's diarrhea.com.
Poor Whoopi Goldberg.
All right, guys, thanks for tuning in. We will catch you next week on another episode of TTS Talk. Catch you later. Peace. What am I doing?
Now you gotta walk to it and
change it. Walk it up.
I'm not touching.
So good. All right, let him in.
Big AJ, I think you're something else.